It's a late start today. We slept in. It's a strange day too. John made the most, he stated this, and this is the most demoralizing yet witty quip ever. He said, "The weather report said it says it's not going to rain for the rest of my life." Anyway, the upshot of it is it's quite demoralizing.
They're doing it via GPS. I hope that's because they don't know whether your stride is an 18-inch or...
I was marveling at how the dog could just keep her head out there for 30 minutes, and I was just thinking, God, I would like to feel like this about looking out the window. This is rape. I don't like saying it out loud, but it makes the countryside pretty spectacular when we pass fields full of it. I'm in the historic town of Lavenham. Weirdly, I'm here to go to the butcher's shop. The town is famous for this higgledy-piggledy, these Tudor buildings. This is an unusual butcher. They actually sell clothes, and this is actually why we're here, because John is about to start shooting again. So he needs to get a hunting jacket. I love this fabric. We came here because there's a brand called Loxon, and it's weird. It's actually at the back of the butcher shop. They sell clothes. This is no ordinary butcher. Everything is really like a specialty store level of preparation. So even these pies, all their meat. They make their own sausages. Here's venison, pork schnitzel. This is where you come for something you want to buy something special for dinner.
Where I've actually been there, and you said you've been overseas
In Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
This is going to sound so weird. I'm so inspired by something like this, really. Like, I see this and I think, wow, this has got the makings of a really great brand. Oh, we're so spacey. We're singing a peon to this butcher shop, and then we realized we didn't get bones for the dog, so I'm going back now. Went back there to get the bones. Got hungry because I smelled something cooking in the kitchen, and I was going to get I got two meat pies, and then the butcher, he actually gave them to me as a gift. Everything, people always expect that what happens in the country is going to be done by a bunch of yokels, but that's really far from the truth. I didn't know what to expect, and I was really impressed. Yeah, but actually that's common. I think there's so many misconceptions about living out here, and that it's some kind of step down from sophisticated urban life, but far from it actually. And here and there you find something amazing like that, which is a treasure and a windfall. Look more the R word, the R word. It's still beautiful even if the word is horrendous. It's so crazy how you take all the trouble to get the dog a really good bone, and I gave Flo the good bone, the meaty bone, and she actually went and grabbed her. It's not a synthetic bone, but the packaged bone. Oh God! Contrast this with Ab, the other dog, who is just having a party with this bone. And look, Flo's just ignoring her bone. I don't really understand, and she's going for the chew hide bone. Fine. Oh, you're not even going to touch this bone? What kind of dog are you? She's an AI or something. I don't think she's really a dog. Look at this bag. Somebody gave us something in this bag. First, okay, it's the antithesis of eco. On top of it, it's hideous. Hallmark and its ilk need to go out of business immediately. One of the giant gaps in my knowledge is of history, because I have avoided it literally my entire life, my entire adult academic life. So maybe I can make up for it here. The way I look at it, you have to complete your worldview, you really need to understand the full gamut of political opinion and the basis for all of those different views and perspectives. And I'm serious about that's the reason I do want to go to such a festival. I want to also, this is a non-negative lyrical aside that I wanted to make. It's like the rape, it's like the butcher shop. It's something very small, but which really makes, it's a material amelioration of your daily routine, which counts. This is like a wonderful, wonderful fountain pen. Well, it's a disposable fountain pen, and I'm in love with it, and I love writing with it, and it actually cheers. I'm going to my acupuncturist. Now, he's actually on a village green, like in my neighboring village. It's an unconventional place to have acupuncture for sure. I don't know how he feels about it being taped either. We'll see. Okay, this is my acupuncturist. Rob, do you hate being taped?
No, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Sunday was hot yoga, so
This is an ancient technique called gua sha, which basically separates the fibers in the muscle before preparing it for needles. Right? Pretty much? Is that wrong?
That's part of it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
There's more to it than that. So, in addition, you're squeezing blood through the vessels, and where the blood isn't flowing through the muscle efficiently, you'll get a build-up of hydrostatic back pressure through the venous system, and that comes back into the capillaries.
I'm laying down horizontal here. But the upshot of Rob's remarks or explanation of gua sha is basically that it makes the capillaries bleed under the skin. Yes? Basically.
That makes it sound like you're damaging the capillaries, which are not.
Okay.
The pressure causes, technically the correct term is that it causes the blood to extravasate from the capillaries.
Okay, that's not bad for me. That's the upshot.
So it's come up pretty.
This is the price of having all this therapy administered. You look like you have leprosy for a couple days. I'm usually way too scared to even look, but today I'm actually I'm gonna try to tape Rob, who's a veritable magician. We were just talking about music. Magician when it comes to finding what are those points called?
Trigger points.
Trigger points. I don't associate that with a gunshot, but I mean it's its own kind of, how'd you say? It's its own kind of shock. Mild. Okay, I'm laughing nervously because Rob is applying electrical current. Usually I'm extremely calm. It's usually because I'm not trying to film him putting needles in my arm and then applying microelectric current. Okay, now Rob is about to get to know me better because I've been filming this. And first, it's amazing to find somebody who is really expert and it just excels at acupuncture in the neighboring village. That's crazy. And he administers treatment actually in the ground floor of this beautiful house on the village green. And it's very interesting because I have had acupuncture for years, but very old-fashioned traditional Chinese style in Hong Kong, and didn't have electrical current added to the needles, but it's actually extremely powerfully therapeutic and has healed my tennis elbow at record speed. Finally, what I also like about Rob is he talks to me about acupuncture in a very scientific, secular way, although he is very knowledgeable about the history and the beliefs surrounding its practice. Okay, do you see my arm jumping? That's not me making a voluntary movement. That's because of now what's happening there, Rob?
Okay, so we're stimulating the motor point of the extensor carpi radialis, which is a muscle that pulls the wrist backwards. And the motor point is where the nerve that controls the movement of the muscle enters the muscle. So when by needling it precisely in that point and stimulating it, will activate the muscle and reset its neurological function.
Don't mind that extremely impressive description of what is happening to my muscle, but the main point is that when electricity is applied to the needles, it causes the muscle to contract like that involuntarily. And for those of you who are trying acupuncture for the first time, it's quite a disturbing sensation. But I think you got to keep in mind that it's weird, and it's not something you ordinarily experience any other time or place in your life. I wasn't paying attention. There is a forest of needles on my arm. Okay, Rob, how many needles are in there? How many?
10.
Oh my gosh, there are 10. I didn't even know he put those in. Like I said, the man is a magician. Okay, so I was saying, I had no idea there were 10 needles in my arm. And then I saw Rob brandishing a pair of what are those, the clips which carry the current, and he's going to attach them to the needles. I'm scared now. When I first met Rob, I asked him about his insurance. He assured me that I'm going to be fine. Okay, you all know that I love performance art. Now look at this. Think of it, look at this. This could be some kind of John Cage, Philip Glass, Steve Reich kind of performance on my arm right here. Rob just made me laugh because I said, oh God, it's time for bloodletting now. And he just said, he just got a new book on bloodletting. This is the next phase. Now Rob is lighting my elbow on fire.
Yeah, you're going to have to participate.
Are we using mugwort?
Say hot when it feels hot. As soon as
Okay.
it feels hot.
I'm going to see. Will it feel hot within 15 seconds of an Instagram story, though? This is a traditional therapy called moxibustion, where Rob is burning mugwort. And what does it do? It's a heat therapy. You explained it to me.
Exactly.
By the way, Rob does not go for superstitious mumbo jumbo. Even though mugwort has traditionally been used, this therapy can be reproduced without mugwort. Okay, now he's... Ow! I want to show you also the unconventional domestic environs of this clinic. It's much more relaxing. And it is, however, unorthodox. There's no doubt about it. Oh, look, like I have bedhead here. That was great. Rob, this is like a hurt so good feeling. Rob really beat me up today. Like, we got the kitchen sink of what he calls applying controlled stresses to my injury. I've come to my local farm shop because I feel like making a cake. And I'm going to pick up some stuff for lunch and dinner. Look at these lemons, are giant. I mean, they're gargantuan and irregular, something you would never get in Waitrose. I haven't been in here in maybe, 6 weeks. And now they have a whole gift shop. You never know what the hell's going to happen in the countryside. Sometimes, this is like the Lavenham Butcher again. No idea. Now, the reason to go to a farm shop is for fresh asparagus, because we ran out of our own. But I've been really bad. I bought crisps, which are disgusting, lemons, and cream. And I really can't believe that he's not gay, Benoit Paire. It's weird. He's just way too well groomed and pretentious looking. As usual, I wasn't ready to work, and therefore I made a cake. Unfortunately, I slightly overcooked the cake and it's burnt on the edges. Okay, Natalie, here is the dress. It's a long, traditional cheongsam. This is my go-to wedding outfit. It's lined in red and it's got quite a big slit, but it's below, it's mid-calf. And you can see it's got this it's completely covered with cloud embroidery. John told me that yesterday he clipped the edge of the hedge to make it razor sharp. That's what he's into.
Good morning. Do we need to talk?
I can't relate to gardening. I think I mentioned that at least 500 times before. Just can't relate to that type of thing. This is what obsessive gardeners do. They clip the edge of the grass to make it razor sharp. This is what John did yesterday. Not the whole day, mind you, but but this is a type of detail which makes or breaks the man, whether that corner is sharp. Every day, are you married to anybody who says, to somebody who says the exact same thing when they're presented the exact same stimulus every single time and they've done it for 10 years? I am. John just tripped, and it actually made us think, at our age, you just. Can you see? I don't know if I'm capturing this. Just musing on looking at the dogs, and then
every second they're getting 5,000 different smells, which they just ignore.
We're talking about what if we could have the olfactory experience of a dog, and how intense and what a tsunami of stimuli that would be. And then John quipped, well, you couldn't handle it unless you also had the psychology of the dog, which is so true because they're getting stimulated 5 billion times a second, basically. But the reason it came up is I swear I had a whiff of some kind of animal. No. Or some terrible whiff from John, maybe. I think these have a sex smell. John says they smell smells like vanilla, but you can, when you walk past it, you catch a very erotic waft of something. We're stopping to admire these cows. John thinks they look like statuary.
They're just not moving.
No, it's very pretty.
Of the old vineyard.
Yeah, time to make nettle soup. I mean, I've never done that. It sounds like something a witch would make, but John is always raving to me that it could be delicious. Anyway, it's worth a try. The great thing about living in the country is I guess the simplest way to put it, it's a very analog world. And in today's world, that's very rare and precious. For those of you who are into nature, or at least apps, does anyone have a great recommendation for an AI-based tree, plant, and flower recognition app? I was looking at an Instagram post of a very long-lost friend from New York, and she was saying how her son, whom I've never met, was turning 12, and I thought, oh my God, my friend is so fun and charismatic and special, yet it's unlikely I'll see her again before I die. That sounds really morbid, that I think about death all the time, and I do, and I wouldn't say it's incessant, but it's a daily theme, but it's actually, I'm much happier now, paradoxically. It doesn't make sense, but now, curd, lemon curd, this variety of curd, fruit curds, they are typically the butt of jokes about English cuisine, so I'm wondering, what does one do with this? This was a house gift. Part of what I do every day of my daily rituals to check the ATP schedule and then to look at tennis TV to flag what I want to watch. And today, luckily, there's nothing. I'm meeting 3 people who don't have Instagram accounts.
This is true.
But it doesn't matter. And I don't even know what they look like, really.
I'm actually flirting with it at the moment.
This is a beautiful gastropub. I picked it to try something new and have a business meeting, but I'll probably come back. I want to explain clearly why I object to this campaign. It's not that I don't think Leo Burnett is going to execute this campaign with a high level of sensitivity. What I object to is the motivation behind launching such a campaign. No matter what the stated intentions of Leo Burnett are, it's palpably obvious that the motivation for the campaign is to provoke a furore to the point where this campaign is virally reshared. For that reason alone, I object to it strenuously and consider it to be a piece of opportunism, of shameless and egregious opportunism. I'm back at St. Helena's Hospice. I needed to do some additional footage. This is Jill Jolly, looking shy.
Looking shy.
She's my main. She's fundraising. We're trying to raise £3 million. Feel free to donate by calling me, okay? I'm back at St. Helena's Hospice. I needed to do some additional footage. This is Jill Jolly, looking shy.
Looking shy.
She's my main. She's fundraising. We're trying to raise £3 million. Feel free to donate by calling me, okay? I'm back at St. Helena's Hospice. I needed to do some additional footage. This is Jill Jolly, looking shy.
Looking shy.
She's my main. She's fundraising. We're trying to raise £3 million. Feel free to donate by calling me, okay? Okay, this is Karen. She's the medical director. We have chosen a domestic setting. She's dressed like a prime minister. Oh God! Don't worry, we will suppress any whiff of that in the video. Okay. I want to elaborate on my experience with St. Helena's Hospice. At first, I would say that I was co-opted into their fundraising campaign through a good friend. And of course, I was happy to do that. And then I had a tour of the hospice and met the team, and they blew me away. And then I felt completely different, and it was no longer a question of merely something like social compunction or obligation or anything like that. I actually got really jazzed about it because this hospice is filled with really passionate people who are uplifted by their mission to care for those who suffer from a terminal illness. And frankly, I didn't know what hospices did until now. So one of my goals in making a video about this hospice is also to explain what hospices do in generally, because unless you've had firsthand acquaintance of a loved one staying in one, actually most people think that hospices are very wide-ranging in their activity, but actually hospices are exclusively dedicated to taking care of people, whether it's at the end of their lives or earlier, who have terminal illnesses. Hospices fill an important functional gap in the healthcare system by providing end-of-life care after treatment or cure becomes impossible. They are run as charitable nonprofit organizations, and they only get 1/3 of their funding from the NHS. So that is why it's very important for people to understand the critical function that they fulfill. I promise that this is my penultimate message about hospices, because it's not necessarily a bright, sunny topic, although it is an inspiring one. Hospices only get 1/3 of their funding from the NHS, yet they are serving huge catchment areas. For example, this one is the biggest one in Essex, which is a very populated county, and it basically it helps 4,000 people a year. Hospices assist the care of terminally ill people in two crucial regards. First, at the end of their lives, they come here to die, and or to alleviate their symptoms. I'm going to make good on my promise, and the rest of my posts are all going to be fun and laughter-filled and jovial and witty and zany and the usual stuff that I am most of the time. Okay, everybody see how scary this looks. I'm discussing with Mary as like my hairdresser. I said, Mary, I feel like my hair is graying faster. And with this look, I definitely look, I'm about 80 in this picture. See this huge amount of this patch of gray? Good thing I have bangs. Otherwise I'm gonna look like I have a giant head tattoo. I just filmed Mary and she said, don't you dare put me on Instagram. So respectfully, I expunged that immediately. I'm hearing you. When I was at the hairdresser, there was a lady who was sitting next to me who, at the end of her appointment, actually turned to me and said, you should realize this is not your office and you shouldn't be doing business here because you have a very dominating voice, blah, blah, blah. And of course, I apologize. But what I really wanted to say was, why didn't you say something when you were having your appointment? Because of course I would have desisted right away. My point is this: if you're a confrontational person, which is completely fine, because I believe strongly in confrontation, front load the confrontation so in order to maximize the utility of the encounter instead of diminishing it. By not telling me until the conclusion of the time she spent next to me, she actually greatly, she allowed my noise to and activity to impinge upon her serenity, and she shouldn't have done that. What I really want to say is that frequently British society, British culture leads to these perverse outcomes where people keep their mouths shut and seething resentment actually comes to a head and yet has no outlet. I'm going to make you all laugh. This is how I usually walk in, and this is how I greet. I holler down the hall. Gorgeous? Hello? Okay, that bone is a bit big. That bone is like, how would you describe the size of that bone? Look how big this bone is. Ab, come look at me. Look at how big this bone. It's ridiculous. This somehow ended up in our house. I mean, okay, Louise appears to have brought it home.
Yeah, she's getting uber serious about it.
Yeah, no. Can you say
Yum,
this? Thick,
yum.
not Han. Okay. This somehow ended up in our house. I mean, okay, Louise appears to have brought it home.
Yeah, she's getting uber serious about it.
Yeah, no. Can you say
Yum,
this? Thick,
yum.
not Han. Okay. It's really gross outside, although John he rejoiced when it began to rain because we live in the driest postal code in the country, literally. Look at this, looks like a lollipop. It's going to pop this weekend. I'm on my way to pick up John Paul and Julian from the DIS train station, and I'm dragging them to a spoken word group
Roger, a lot of the
performance at the Corn Hall in DIS in the middle of nowhere.
Has been.
Well, I hope Julian and John Paul aren't going to kill me. I didn't just realize, on my way to DIS, I realized that it's much farther away than I thought. But I'm still looking forward to us having a rollicking good time, and I hope the drive, I know the drive's going to be worth it. Here. Oh my God, they're here! They're here! It's a miserable day, but they look chic. They look chic. All right, we're in the middle of DIS, whatever that may mean. We will be now. This is the funny part. John Paul was just here, so I don't have to feel guilty about the fact that he doesn't know what it's going to be like. He knows what DIS. All right, we're in the middle of DIS, whatever that may mean. We will be now. This is the funny part. John Paul was just here, so I don't have to feel guilty about the fact that he doesn't know what it's going to be like. He knows what we're here. This is the Corn Hall. It looks quite grand. Okay, I will remain sanguine. Happy Palace. Lots of ethnic restaurants run by Asian people, for Asian people. Probably not for Asian people, but okay, let's Besides the gratification of being seated next to these two, the part is, this is what we get for coming really late. We get to sit in the front row right under the nose of Luke, Wright, and the other poets who are going to be performing tonight.
Thank you for your kind applause. Always good. How you doing? Good. All right. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you're here. We literally thought like 10 people were coming yesterday. I didn't tell the acts this actually. I let Tim come all the way.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glasses off because I like to see your faces, but I don't want to see the nuances of your expressions. Couples trying to have a dreamy time together, and I saw this couple and I was like, yep, they're trying to have a dreamy time, and they're having lunch together, and I just watched them and wrote them this poem, and they will never know. This is called Administrative. So hot this year. Refugees are so right now. Whereabouts in London is Norwich? The thing is, right, men don't watch female shows. Women watch male shows because there aren't many female shows. What's more millennial, do you think? A high five or a fist bump? Listen, I think...
called Snow Business, in which Jekyll or Heckle, whichever one goes throughout, doing an impression of Humphrey Bogart. It's fantastic. The shyster's back to grafting dough, his headman's found another schmo to take the heat in his erstwhile frails, scoped out a room and trimmed her sails. So let's mooch to the lot and in a darkness, beat out a crazy rhythm on his carcass. You tympanize upon his dome, and I'll play his ribs like a xylophone. In the juke joints and...
Luke, how much is...
I just fed them soup.
Now, you've got to stop. We have decided. Michael was telling me that people who are addicted to Instagram.
Good morning. I got a serious bollocking last night because Michael, my future son-in-law, showed John my Instagram stories. Okay, so I got bollocked on 2 counts. The first one was, it's true, I shouldn't be Instagramming from a car because it's just seriously fucking dangerous. Then number 2, John was worried that it's an addiction because of the number of my posts. Wow, it's a crazy, stunning day. I want to go back to the point about Instagramming so much. So I tried to explain when I Instagram, and I told John it's when there is a change in my homeostatic condition. And my homeostatic condition is when I'm inside the house or engaged in third-party interaction with other people. So if I'm sitting on the couch all day, I don't Instagram. I'm also using stories as a convenient technology by which to memorialize and diarize my days, and I've been downloading my stories in cycles of 24 hours and intend to upload them on a weekly basis. That doesn't make me any less narcissistic or extroverted. It doesn't justify that type of behavior. It's just an explanation of why I'm Instagramming so frequently, because it's technologically convenient, basically. And I don't consider vlogging or Instagramming any different than writing a blog, of course, or even writing a novel, because it presumes already that you believe your content to be sufficiently noteworthy, interesting, and illuminating to share with the general public. And that's never changed for anybody who's known me for a long time. I've been like that for decades, probably since I was 12 years old. I explained all this to John, who took exception to my use of the word homeostasis, but besides that was mostly worried that I may actually be doing it because I'm bored, but far from it. I'm just lazy and therefore using this tool to document my thoughts, as opposed to what I should be doing, which is writing a beautifully crafted long-form essay every single day. But I'm honestly I'm just way too lazy for that.
Downward feces.
We were looking at John was reviling the BBC homepage, and I agree with him. It's full of just ridiculous clickbait, and you never find this garbage on the front page of the New York Times, for example. The stuff they have on here is shocking.
When you're not wet, because it's pretty gross.
John Paul and his 2 daughters. He's saying good morning. We're taking a stroll. I'm showing Julian the garden because he's never been here. I just glimpsed John through the lens. Oops! That's verboten. I know. Hey, we're about to have a blizzard! It's coming. Gale force winds carrying rain, perhaps hail. The temperature has plummeted. It feels below 0 suddenly. This is my last post for the next hour because I just, again, got a serious bollocking about not using the phone while driving. Okay, fine, it's against the law. So John Paul will Instagram instead.
Whatever.
That's so
stopping
weird.
at a rape field.
Yes, of course I will.
Come on, it's so weird.
But it's not that exciting.
I find them exciting.
Okay, fine. John Paul refused to film this, so I'm just doing it myself.
07555.
We're inside the compound where Old Jet is located.
854. The Armour.
Yeah, the store in Hong Kong, in the landmark. Okay, we're at Old Jet. I've dragged these guys to the market, so I hope, I pray that it was worth it. John Paul fell in love with this. He said, "This is fabulous, except for the logo." In which case I said, let's keep on going. I was admiring this wool proto tennis dress with a girly intarsia bow design. I saw that it's by Adrian Vittadini, which reminded me of my childhood. This is kimchi, and Louise, I'm thinking of you. This is the kind of business you would open. I am salivating over these boots. They're in gorgeous condition. They're Western style, and look, they have these wonderful Victorian perforated panels. I'm trying to convince myself not to buy them. We had no idea what to expect. Never been here before. There's a lot of people in here for being, I don't know, Saturday morning. It's got a really nice vibe because there's a DJ. I bought something. Ogling this skirt, which looks like it's printed in calligraphy. Okay, that's the Old Jet building where I met up with Calvin last week. No coffee. This is where the market is. And then this is these are the environs of it. These are Nissans. So Nissans are these half-cylinder buildings. John taught me that word today. We had to buy some kimchi. It was a must. I couldn't say no. This is a big plate of bulgogi. People, John Paul is asking me and Julian, what is this? Okay, how come we're even asking? It's so obvious it's an eyesight testing machine. Really? Really?
Not an eye testing machine. What is this backwards then for?
This is insane. It's hailing. That is crazy. John Paul is refusing to story this.
She needs help.
This is where Old Jet is.
Call the shrink.
Okay, it's in this disused airbase. Look out for that. Now you get it. Don't freak people out! I had to take this car is going to kill me. I stopped the car to take a picture of this street side. Dead serious. Of course, it's in the middle of white people's land, Suffolk. We're here at the Unruly Pig. Okay. John Paul noticed that there are even gay pigs on this bulletin board.
Look at that.
What? A backside shot? Is that?
Hot. That's what I mean.
Oh God! Why would you have that in Suffolk?
Because
Sushi. That sounds like a
Go for
mistake.
pork. I
Don't
would
do
like
that.
to go for pork.
It's not
Go for pork.
Yeah.
It's a starter. I can have 2. Why would I have it? Stop doing this story thing. Drive me crazy.
I'm doing it to torment you, obviously. I told you I was going to do that the entire weekend. We're here picking up Ellen. Ellen.
Hello.
And Juan.
Hey.
Hey!
What's this?
Oh, stop that! Stop that! Taiwan is cool.
You're not supposed to.
That one is good food.
I am. In fact, Ellen said, photograph them first before I touch them. It's fine. Don't worry, you're not in it. You're not in it. My favorite subject. That one is cool.
You're not supposed to.
That one is good food.
I am. In fact, Ellen said, photograph them first before I touch them. It's fine. Don't worry, you're not in it. You're not in it. My favorite subject. This other, we have this gorgeous box of chocolate from Alain Ducasse. John, I have to hide it now. Otherwise, John made a beeline for this and it was about to open the whole thing. Okay, taking a walk with these city folk. Trebling the non-white population of Suffolk. Today, through one household's guests, Benetton, United Nations. This is a group of unabashed Remainers. I didn't tell John yet though. Take the short walk right now, but the other walk's about 20 minutes longer. But this is the usual general area where we take our walk. I hope I don't fall in a ditch because I'm walking backwards through a horse's paddock. I decided to take everyone to the neighborhood, to the village church, which only gives one mass a month because it's serving such a tiny community. Run! Okay, this is not actually that funny or pleasant, but that just shows that's why I love England, right? And I'm walking with somebody who uses an umbrella. Wait, John Paul, did you see John Paul? He's using an umbrella. You're Satan. You can't believe what John Paul has brought.
Pork scratchings from hell. Your mother sucks pork scratchings in hell.
Pork scratchings barbecue.
No, one of the guys I work with.
Okay, it's not a great city. They're the worst best on the
The worst best for the planet.
Not really, it's all in fashion now. It's outdoor.
It's like, it's very, it's so outdoor.
Because they're all naked.
Yeah, they really.
Be nice. I'm
Hey!
Can I have 2 glasses of wine?
They've been talking about food for 90 minutes.
What's the name? Okay.
My elephant and castle is
I know.
reviving.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yes,
This is so bad, but I have abandoned my kitchen full of guests to watch the replay of this match because I just need to know the outcome badly.
Joanne and I had to get out of the kitchen because they were talking about restaurants for about an hour and a half and saying, this one's not authentic, but then this one's good, this one ain't good, that ain't good, this one's amazing, and I love restaurants and I love food, but it was just way too much.
We're never going to eat. It's not going to happen.
That's my sweater. He's got my sweater on. No, this is Louise said this is Michael's sweater and gave it to me.
Oh, I gave it to Michael. He just gave it to you?
Borrow.
I borrowed it.
You look good in it.
Thank you.
Essentially 9 years ago in the cupboard, and it is still there.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't breathe little baby hand to hand, so you can make money.
So this goes back to the original question.
So she bought a piece of artwork.
How many suits do you have? That goes back to the original question.
Don't hurt the chocolates.
Pass it to your left.
Okay, let's see.
You're not
Le
allowed to touch it.
chocolat Alain Ducasse. Manufacture Paris. Au bonbon chocolat. Pour confectionner notre chocolat. Nous sélectionnons nos fèves autour de mon avant. De les
Here we go. Okay.
Wait, how many packs were in that box?
Just one.
In that huge box.
So you have ganache and praline.
But you know,
praline.
the more you open it up, it just comes down to one that I get.
I blame Brexit for that.
Ooh, there's look.
Woo! That's a lot of chocolate. That's a lot of chocolate. We said we want to have sex with this teapot, and then John Paul says something like, "I hope your uterus is strong enough to take this teapot."
Not very.
What?
Strong, otherwise you'll break it.
Gross! Disgusting!
Sorry, you're the one that said I want.
Everything. And you feel great. You're not even thinking about. You don't even think about. And even though your sister still hates you, thank you. You're pretending to be friends because your dad is. I'm joking. He's just there. I'm engaged. To love.
It's early. I have probably 15 minutes free. I have to cook cornbread, macaroni and cheese, and potato salad now. It's pretty clean in the kitchen. I'm gonna wait. I'm not even gonna make coffee. I'm gonna preheat the oven now. Everybody's awake.
Do you get tips from this?
Do I get tips? What do you mean I get? Oh yeah. Watching tennis is super crucial because it actually really improves your game. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's if you're serious, it helps. So I've been taking my friends to look at the kitchen garden. Yeah. So this is asparagus. This is, I mean, we usually will cut it before it's that big, basically. This is John Paul doing performance art in the garden. Note how everyone's wearing black. It just hit me that everybody is dressed in an incredibly urban manner. Not that that should surprise anyone, because they're all from London. I'm reunited with my tennis husband. So happy.
Crazy tall. I'm being stalked.
My girlfriend.
My girlfriend's not stalking. They're very tall.
Compared.
You're talking about your girlfriends?
It's the least interesting.
Oh, your girlfriends in Serbia. Those girls. Okay. Did I mention we're barbecuing? Look how stunning this looks. Oh, those aren't done yet. Nothing we can do though. You want to leave that one? Maybe? No. Nothing we can do. Okay. Look how gorgeous that looks! Pork chop, perfectly seared. Mac and cheese, cornbread, tomato salad, champagne. We're saying goodbye.
Look, I've become Culturevlog. Yeah.
Look at how distinctly unchic John Paul looks.
Yeah.
This is a special banner day. An oversized slouchy slumming sweater. I got back just in time to watch the deciding set of this match. Final of Munich.
I love it.
Look what Michael brought. We were wondering what the hell this was. This is they just moved flats. What and their landlord gave them this.
Yeah, it gave us some